GG's, brother.
Get stomped, idiot.
You got me good.
Yeah, I did. Easy dub.
Yep.
You don't seem upset.
I'm not.
Well, that's no fun. Why?
Because who cares? It's a random game in January. I'm going to make the playoffs easily. And, I think this will work out for me in the long run.
You're plotting something.
I am. But you'll never figure out what it is.
You think if you let us win a couple of games before the trade deadline, it'll prevent us from doing what we should do, which is ship out any players not nailed down and recoup as much draft capital as possible, further delaying the process to actually become cup contenders again.
Okay, wow, you got there really fast. How did you know that?
I've been doing it to the Red Wings for years. Low quality fans! Rough. Of a high-quality Bruins team, that is a dub. That's right, we're high quality once again. See, that's all it takes. Sure. We lost 6 in a row or something like that. But we just won a game, which means 2 things. 1, we're better than the Florida Panthers. And 2, the cup's back on, baby. Hell yeah, cup's on! As you can hear, it's a rough night. I meant to live stream for this game, and I am way too hungover to have done that because I'm over 30 now, and my body just does that. So I apologize. That's on me. That's poor planning on my part. The Florida Panthers are coasting their way through this season and are still like a top 5 team while doing it. They are a really good team. It's very obvious to me. I tune into them a lot. I watch a decent amount of East Coast games when I can. And it's very obvious to me that they just take shifts off. They take nights off. I don't even think intentionally. Like, it just seeps into their game at times, which is really fine. You're the defending champion. You know what you have. You know what you're going to try to look like for the playoffs. I'm not even ragging on them. Like, they're a really good team. This is the 3rd meeting of the year. We lost the previous 2. We know this Panthers teams. They've, like I said, been coasting, but they're a really good team. They are 6th on the power play, 12th on the penalty kill, but very dangerous as well on the penalty kill because they score a bunch of shorthanded goals. They're 10th in goals for and 16th in goals allowed. This is a really good team that isn't at its best yet. Because Bobrovsky is fine. Probably not even fine. He's probably less than fine so far this season. But that's kind of my expectation with him. This is always going to be a hot take. I don't think Bobrovsky is that great of a goaltender. I really haven't for a very long time. And he has certain moments in certain games that you're just like, holy crap, this guy's unbeatable. Particularly late in games, he just always seems to make the big save, which would make him a great goaltender, right? But his overall numbers are frequently like below what you'd want to see from an elite netminder. And even in the playoffs, when people talk about like, well, playoff Bob, not really. Like, you go through his history in the playoffs and there's a bunch of stinkers in there. But then again, there's a bunch of really great like career-defining moments. So it's a really dumb take to be like, I don't think he's that good. But for some reason, my brain just does that. Sometimes we just have to recognize when we have a bad take, but we're not going to shake it anyway because your brain's just your brain. What are you going to do? The Boston Bruins are an enigma. Not really. They're very easily understandable. They're not great, but that's okay. And for those of you who keep saying, I don't want us to make the playoffs, I want a better draft pick, blah, 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 you're not wrong. I don't disagree with you having that opinion. Like, I understand it. I do disagree with the whole I don't want them to make the playoffs thing. I don't think this team's capable of bottoming out hard enough where the pick gets that much better. So obviously a higher pick's a higher pick, that's better, but I do kind of want to see this team make the playoffs because I think it would be hilarious because we would very much be last season's Washington Capitals where whoever is going against us is like, this is going to be an absolute ass kicking and it's going to be so easy. And we would have zero expectations of playoffs. We would just sit there and be like, let's see what happens. But if we won the first game, the nerves that would set in for the other fan base would be really funny for me. It would just be really funny. I'm total team chaos with this Bruins team. I want to make the playoffs, and I just want this to be the weirdest series and most frustrating series. I don't know. I think it'd be entertaining, and that's what we're all here for, right? The lineup tonight we're still on the road, so like it makes sense that there's not huge wholesale changes yet. I'm hoping once they go back home that there's going to be a change here. Marchand, Lindholm, Coyle, Geeky, Zaka, Pasta, Wallstrom, Frederick, Brazeau, Kepke, Beecher, McLaughlin. McLaughlin is coming in for Kostelic, who is out due to that injury when Liljegren got him up high with a stick in the Lightning game. Zadorov, McAvoy, Osterley, Carlo, Lohrei, Peak. Osterley's moving back into the lineup as well. And then Swayman is going to get the start. I don't have a lot to say to preview this game. This is just, the team is the team. It sucked. It's been really bad for a couple of weeks. There's a lot of negativity. But I am just trying to enjoy watching hockey, and this was a really interesting game. Through it all. So let's talk about it. Drops! The Bruins forgot that there was a game today for a good little chunk of the game. Through the first 4 minutes, the Panthers have spent almost 2 full minutes in our zone. They put up the counter and it was like 147 after 4 minutes. They had been in our defensive zone, which is a very long time out of 4 minutes. That's an extremely large amount of time. 50% basically of the time you're in there. Like, that's really bad. The Bees have given up 4 separate net front chances through this time period that Swayman has stopped each and every one of them. It's looked really bad early, and I think the first thing I said about this game on the old social media was, oh, they've given up a bunch of chances in tight early. This might be a really ugly game. This could get really ugly. And it didn't. It didn't, because 4:50 in, Frederick gets pulled down. Lundell is going to go for holding. We're going to the power play. And not only did they do the dang thing, but it's Morgan freaking Geeky again. After about 90 seconds of what looked like an awful power play, the Bruins managed to get the puck deep. Marchand and Pasta control the puck along the right wall, pass it back and forth a little bit, get set up. Pasta moves it to Lohrei on the left point. And Lohrei is not afraid to shoot. Thank God someone's not afraid to shoot. And he sends us in on net. Save is made, but it bounces right out. This is one thing with Bobrovsky that is very true. This isn't hater sauce here. He lets out some big rebounds. He flails and makes the second save often, but boy, does he give up rebounds. Bounces out to Geeky. Geeky's able to chuck it over his shoulder for a 1-0 early lead on a power play goal. First power play goal in a couple of weeks. You love to see that. It's Morgan Elite Geeky, who apparently is the driving force of our offense right behind Pasta. Like, the offense goes as Geeky and Pasta go, apparently. We love it. Look, I know I've said my thing about he's not a top 6 player, all that stuff. I still believe all those things, but if he could continue to, like, make me look dumb, that would be ideal for everybody. I don't mind looking dumb. Look at me. Clearly not that concerned with looking dumb. We'll move on. 8:53 left. Lewis Ryan holds coil. We'll go to the power play. By the way, some of these were really bad calls. The Bruins benefited massively from the refs in this game. Not in the sense where, like, all of them were bad calls, but we got away with some stuff that we might talk about. Sometimes you got to admit that the refs were on your side for a game. Were they intentionally on our side? No, they're just incompetent. Like, that's how this works. But we got the better side of this one. Anyway, when we go to the power play, it's not good. We don't do anything with it. 6:30, which I'm fine. I'm like, we're at 50% for the power play. I'll take that. Obviously, I'll take that. 6:30 left of the period. Lohrei is going to go for holding. We're going to do the penalty kill. We kill it, sort of. And it was excellent, too. We clear the puck out a bunch of times. We do allow them to take the zone too easily over and over again. But other than that, we do clear the puck out over and over and over again. They get back into our zone with the dwindling moments of the power play. And with just about a second left on the clock, they're going to get a shot from the left point in on Swayman. Swayman makes a save, but Rodriguez is all alone in front of Swayman just to punch in the rebound. And it squeaks through his arm. It's 1-1. I know I saw some takes about rebound control and having that puck and swallowing it up and everything. And I agree. I think Swayman certainly could have played this a little better. But even though it's an odd man, and it was like a second after the power play expired that this goes to the net, so obviously the guy in the penalty box didn't even get a chance to get in there. You still want your big, beefy Carlo Zadorov pairing on the penalty kill to have a body on that guy after the shot's taken. Like, that seems reasonable to me, and neither one of them are there. So, it is 1-1. It's a power play goal for us, and technically not a power play goal for them, but it basically is. With 2:55 left of the period, Marchand and Schmidt get into a nasty net front battle. I am worried about a suspension. I don't think it's coming, but a fine probably is, because it does look like Marchand might have used his leg to like sweep out Schmidt's leg. It was like, go watch it. It was just a really awkward takedown, and it wasn't quite like a slew foot behind the leg kind of thing, but it still was absolutely inappropriate to do this. So there might be some further news about that. Each one of them is actually going to go for a penalty here, so it's going to go to 4v4. Again, there's moments where the Bruins absolutely should have been shorthanded for some of this stuff, and they just weren't. 1 minute left of the period. Verhaeghe gets slashed by Geekie. We're going to the penalty kill. It'll be 4v3 for 5 seconds, and then it'll be a 5-on-4 for about a minute through the first, or exactly a minute, to start the second period. We'll be killing off that penalty too, which we do. 4 minutes in, there's a 2v1 for the Bruins. Now, so far, the Bruins have had one scoring chance, which was Geekie in front, burying it on the power play. That is the only scoring chance, real scoring chance, they've had the entire game, right? They've taken 8 shots so far. It hasn't been a great game. But during this 2-on-1, Marchand's carrying down the right wall, and I am just so happy. He skates through the right circle, gets in low, and then shoots it, because the pass isn't there. I just wish more often they would go, I'm not forcing this. Let me see if I can beat the guy. And he went for it. And Bobrovsky made the glove save, whatever. But I like the mentality, and I appreciate it. 9:30 into the period. Lohrei and Greer get into it. Bruins don't want that. Greer would feed Lohrei his own teeth. We do not want that. So Frederick jumps in to protect Lohrei. Greer and Frederick go for matching roughing calls. But Greer gets the additional 2 minutes. So we're going to go to the power play. This should have been Greer getting 4 minutes. I get, like, I understand him getting an extra 2. Lohrei also should have been in the box for this, because he was giving just as good as he was getting early on with the Greer stuff. So pretty surprised we go on the power play. It's not good, and we give up a breakaway at the end of it, and Tkachuk ends up getting stoned by Swayman 1v1 5-hole. Great save by Sway. We're going to talk about him. 6:27 left. Peak for cross-checking. We're on the penalty kill. The shots are 22-9 at this point, with 6:27 left of the second period. 22-9. Not great. We kill it. 3:45 left. A nice forecheck by Frederick. Now remember, the shots they're doubling us up in shots. They have carried the play. This isn't like, oh, the shots are lopsided, but it's not actually what's happening. No, that's actually what's happening. 3:45 left. It's a nice forecheck by Frederick as Pasta gets a puck in deep. Frederick chases it down, gets there first in the left corner, is about to get creamed by 2 players, and just hands it off to Geekie, who's on that left wall. Geekie collects and sees Pasta is able to shimmy away from his defenseman in front of the net and puts his stick in a position for a backdoor tap-in. The pass from Geekie is perfect. It's perfect tape to tape. It's tapped in by Pasta. Geekie's got 2 points. It's a 2-1 lead. And after 2, the shots are 27-10. And we have a 2-1 lead. We have also only created, at this point, 3 scoring opportunities. The Geekie goal, the Pasta goal, and Marchand's shot on the 2-on-1. That is it. This wasn't a boring game. Even though there wasn't a lot of excitement on that end, it wasn't a boring game. But it wasn't a good game for the offense. It really wasn't. Third period starts 43 seconds in, and they break our hearts early. Like, this team, man. Marchand turns the puck over in the offensive zone. Back the other way, it's a 3-on-3. It's a 3-on-3 that turns into, because one of the trailing Panthers players really trails off, it basically turns into a 2v3. We've got numbers. And Peak is covering the puck carrier, which is Barkov, coming down that left side in the left circle. Peak's there in front of him, between him and the net, but also trying to make sure that he doesn't have a great passing lane, right? Zadorov is skating down the middle, backwards, down the middle of the slot. Covering no one. He's directly in line with Peak, so he's not covering any more of a passing lane. He's just there. I'm not a Zadorov fan. I've said it enough. I'm not a Zadorov fan. I think his defensive IQ is something that might be lacking a little bit. The bigger problem here, maybe not the bigger problem, but another problem here, is Pasternak is skating with Reinhart. Sort of. He's right next to the guy. If Pasternak gives an iota of energy to this play, if he cares even a little bit, he breaks this up. But he doesn't. And he just lets Reinhart go right to the back door and tap it in. Great pass by Barkov. It's so brutal, man. It's so brutal. Because Pasta's right there. Zadorov is right there. Doing nothing. It's a 2-on-3. You have more players in the vicinity than they do. So it's 2-2. And I know, I don't think it's bad of you to have sat there and been like, yep, here we go. I don't think that's wrong of you. If a team keeps telling you who they are, you got to believe them eventually. But a minute and a half later, an excellent forecheck by Wahlstrom, who gets to a dumped-in puck first and gets it to the slot where the initial shot by Brazeau is blocked. McAvoy collects it, tries to handle the puck in tight to get Bobrovsky to shift his weight to be able to bury it past him. It rolls off his stick, gets punched around a little bit in the slot as there's a mess of bodies, and pushed over to the far side where Wahlstrom collects it, already has Bobrovsky down. I think hits Bobrovsky 6 times with the puck, shooting it just once, just bounces off him 8,000 times and then into the net. And it is 3-2. Wahlstrom gets a huge goal, his first as a Boston Bruin. We're going to talk about Wahlstrom in the game notes, but just remember this. Just remember that he scored a goal. 3:02 in, lost around in for Slasher. We're going to the power play. It's an awful power play. Holy crap, is it bad. It's so bad, and it sucked all the momentum out of our sails, and the Panthers get right back to what they do. 8:21 left. Pasta, things to remember, has a breakaway. Bobrovsky, huge glove save here. And then 7:42 left, about 40 seconds later, another chance for Pasta, 1v1, against Bobrovsky. He's at the bottom of the right circle. He pump fakes, then shoots. And again, Bobrovsky, 5-hole this time, shuts the door. 2 huge saves on a 50-goal scorer. Late in a game with a 1-goal deficit. I mean, huge by Bob. Huge by Bob. 1.8 seconds left. It's crazy how often the Florida Panthers do this. It really is. Maybe there's other teams are like, I don't know what you're talking about. But as a Bruins fan, it's always against the Bruins. There's a couple seconds left of the clock and the puck goes in our net. I mean, it's been so bad, too. After a Pasternak clear hit the post, right? Hits the post of the empty net. There's been an empty net for 2 full minutes. Bruins haven't walked it out of their zone once. They've iced it every time they've tried to clear the puck. It's just awful, awful 6-on-5 play for the Bruins. And they're going to come back in, and they're going to move the puck around. They're going to get the puck on net. It's going to get knocked down in the slot. Reinhart goes to shoot it. He's got a chance here, but the puck bounces on him, and instead just gets the bottom of it and chips it up in the air. Osterley goes to grab it, misses, and the puck lands behind Swayman with 1.8 seconds left. It's 3-3. And again, I wouldn't blame you for going, there it is. Like, your expectations have been set. I don't feel like you're a bad fan for that. You know, like, you know what this team is. We go to overtime. I wanted to stay positive. I was going to keep believing. And with 1:42 left of overtime, Bennett is going to go for high sticking, which is a great call because it was very clearly high sticking. It's going to go to 4v3. Now, our 5-on-4 is bad, but no one can be that bad at 4-on-3. There's so much space. And the Bruins look like they're going to ruin this opportunity because they're just not getting the chances out of this. The real scoring chance that happened in this was with, I want to say like 20, 30 seconds left, a cross-slot pass to Lindholm, who goes knee-down clapper on it, and he flubs the shot, and it just skitters into Bobrovsky's pad. And you sit there and go, what are we doing? The game on the line, and you just healed this thing. Just brutal. But with 2 seconds left on the clock in overtime with a 4v3 advantage, Pasta tries to feed Lindholm again, who's over in the left circle. Pasta's on the right side, tries to pass through the slot. Reinhart gets in the way, deflects the pass, and it somehow from a distance goes top blocker. A little universal Sniperunian cheese. The Lord above made that puck go where it went. And it's 4v3. And the Florida Panthers finally have to know what it feels like. 2 seconds left of the clock. It's in your net for the game winner. It's a huge dub. And there's some fun game notes here. Some of them are a little negative, but some of them are positive. The first one is, I am so very afraid that Wahlstrom's scoring has given the team reason to keep him in the lineup. Please remove him from the lineup. Please, for the love of God, remove him from the lineup. He's not like an active detriment, I guess, but there's just so much better ways to utilize that space, such as one of the younger players. Don't keep him in the lineup just because he scored a goal. They're going to. But dang. Like, I'm glad he scored, but I'm also kind of like, dang. Swayman has been really excellent lately. There's still a few things that you don't love. Some of his puck control when he's like skating with the puck on his stick is awful. I know that. But some of his rebound stuff, there's still a softie every now and again, but he has really turned it on as of late. I saw some people talk about him having the best game of the season for him personally. I still think that was the Edmonton game. I thought he was brilliant in that game and just totally let down by the team in front of him. But either way, really nice to see this guy coming alive over the past couple of starts, and that's something you need. Like, it's one thing, if this team's going to be bad this year, fine. You just sign this guy to a huge contract. You need him to start looking like the guy he's supposed to be again, right? You got to dull down that concern. The other game, no, I just put Zadorov. I'm going to begrudge that contract for the entire 6 years. Yeah. In other news, I really think that a lot of McAvoy's struggles are stemming from a ton of chasing the play with really substandard partners. I know that there's been plenty of stuff that's been truly his fault. He is not having a great season. But I just keep looking at that left side, and Zadorov and Lohrei and Wotherspoon and Osterley, and just none of them are playing well, consistently at least. And I know I'm not happy with McAvoy for a lot of it. Carlos had some really brutal moments. Peake's just kind of been doing his third pairing guy stuff. Like, he's been fine because expectation for Peake is so low. So, like, it's not like the right side is so much better, but that left side is so ugly some nights. And I just want to start putting little asterisks on some of this, because it does feel like the left side is letting down the right brutally, even if the right isn't really playing their best either. I don't know, just something I was thinking a lot about in this game. Either way, that does it for me. Just a quick little fun talk about the game. I feel really bad right now physically, but I am gonna go probably grab a drink, try to taper this thing out a little bit, and then I don't think that's what taper means, and then turn on some hockey and probably fall asleep to it. That's what I think I'm gonna do. God, I am a little bit of an old guy with that one, but you know, if it's effective, go Bees. Go Bees! And now it's time to say thank you to the high-quality inspectors. I appreciate each and every one of you. There's over 100 of you at this point, and I love doing these thank yous at the end, but I think we're reaching such a volume that I have to rethink this strategy because you're all so incredible and so supportive, but this is getting really long, and there's got to be a better way, right? But let's start the thank yous, of course, with the top line tier. Dampen, Chris and Erica, Negev79, Trial Exotic, Jeff McGugan, Quackin' Platypus, Andrew Peterson, Sean Kreider, JM, Zenin Noel DeGuy, Donald Shelton, Anakin Palpatine, The Rat 63, Lola Cattingsworth, EKM Productions, Moonlighter TV, Big Bad Bruin, The Bugman, Adam Ella, Jeff with a G, Tommy Braga, Roland 22, GD Viperworks, Len Cruz, Brock Nope, Han Slomo, Coach D, The Atomic Lizard, Bradley Johnson, Brett Arney, Pincent, and Nick Zatrullo. Thank you so much, each and every one of you. You're absolute legends of this channel, and you're very appreciated. And now, of course, to our all-star tier members. Lorenzo Wood, Jake Brower, Penny Pasta, Levi Catalani, Boston Stringler, Bagel, JG's 12, Mark S., Jacob Pratt, Nightmare Eco, John Kirk, Ann Hustis, Joel, Heil E. Coyote, Darren Woodbury, Abraxion, Michael DePaulo, Wolf Warrior, Vinny, Adrian Winter, Tupton D. Tashi, Bruin Smash, DeKingery, The Only Newts, A Tasty Snack, Doots 42, and Jeremy. Absolute stallions, every single one. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for being a part of the channel. I cannot express my gratitude. Go Bees.